Good day, all. I want to use this medium to welcome everyone to our monthly departmental training for the month of March. My name is Olushola Benjamin Adeni, and our topic for this month shall be food safety culture and food quality or food hygiene. So, before we go into the topic detail, before we go into the detail of the topic, so we are discussing food quality in an abstract. We say it has an objective dimension, which is the measurable physiochemical characteristics inherent to a food product, and a subjective dimension framed by the consumer expectations, perceptions, and acceptance, that is, the fitness of the product for consumption. So the better the match between the expectation consumer have before purchasing the product and the experience they obtain in using the product, so the higher the level of consumer satisfaction. And it has been demonstrated that positive experience with a brand reduce the risk of dissatisfaction and is frequently used to infer quality of the product. So consequently, consumer often rely on well-known brand, and that is a well-known brand names as what? As quality indicator. So let us proceed to the topic fully. Food safety versus food quality. So are they the same? Are they or is there any difference between the two? Or is food safety also referred to food quality? So we shall see when we proceed. So many people think food safety and food quality are same, although closely related. But I will tell you that there is a difference between the two requirements in a food handling environment, or let's say in a food processing company. Therefore, one of them keeps consumer safe while the other one keeps consumer happy. So let us go by the definition. Food safety first. So food safety refers to the practices and conditions that preserve food quality to prevent contamination and foodborne illness during preparation, handling, and storage. Now, these practices give the consumer or those that will be patronizing the product the assurance of safety. So it makes them to rely on the product. It gives them the insight about the safety of the product. So food safety keeps consumers safe. You see? Now, going by the example of food safety, this include personal hygiene, maintaining a personal hygiene, pest control, waste management, cleaning and sanitizing, temperature control and measurement, food safety hazard identification. So these are the examples of food safety. Let's proceed. Food quality. This refers to the features and characteristics of a food product that is acceptable to consumer and meet their expectations, value for money, conforms to the required specification, and profitable to the company. So these are the factors, these are the requirements that makes the consumer excited about your product, that make the consumer happy, that give your consumer satisfaction. Let me put it that way, satisfaction. So going by the example of this, we have one, external factors such as the appearance of your product. So going by the food quality, going by the quality of a product, we are going to consider the features, consider the appearance of the product, whether in size, color, or the shape. Then in some other food examples, just such as solid food, we have texture, which is number two, texture of the product. Let's take for instance, in a bakery business, We have some bakery, we have some bread that people will love to rush, that people will love to, patronize, that people will love to eat because of the texture, because how soft they are. Whereas we have some that people don't really like just because of the hardness of the texture of the bread. So just going by the example. So number three, we have flavor, and the flavor has to do with either the odor or the taste of your product. Let's take for instance, many people prefer Pepsi, let's say Pepsi Cola or Pepsi Milka over Coca-Cola, just because of what the the satisfaction Pepsi brings to them or give to them in terms of the odor, or in terms of the aroma, and in terms of the taste. So these are quality of the product. These are the features. These are the things that bring satisfaction to the consumer, that makes them to be what? Excited about your product. Number four, correct labeling with the ingredients, nutritional information, and supplier or manufacturer details. So food quality are concerned about the external features of your product, the labeling, the features, the nutritional information, and the manufacturer details that captivate customer, that draw the attention of the customer to your product. And the fifth, number five, is product proper package and sealed. This is, let's say for instance, in our production hall, or our production product, Pepsi for example, or all our products, let's put it that way, all our products in our packaging system. If we have Pepsi or maybe one of our products during the production, maybe not properly sealed or not properly corked, easily it give room for the CO2 to escape. With that, the quality of the product is reducing. When the CO2 is reducing, it gives room for the quality of the product to start reducing. Then it gives room for a microorganism to grow in the product. Because of what? Because it has started losing CO2, just because of what? Just because of bad packaging. So proper package and sealed has a lot and has a long way contributing to the quality of the product. The last one is the ingredient standard and maintained. So the ingredients of the product, or the constituent of the product, must be standard, and it must be maintained, not by changing flavor today, not by changing constituent today, or changing ingredient today to give room for poor quality of your product. So all these are the factors, are the features that gives satisfaction to your consumer. Let's proceed. So food safety versus food quality assurance. Food safety versus food quality. So we want to concentrate on some points here. But before that, let us just look at the key differences between these two: food safety and food quality. Number one, food safety center on the protection from what? From hazard of the product. That's the food safety. It center on the protection, that is doing away with hazard or contamination on your product. Then the other one, which is food quality, center on the meeting consumer expectation. So food safety has to do with protection from hazard, or protection from contamination, or protection from the agents of contamination or contaminants, which are contaminants. Then the other one is, which is food quality, centered on meeting consumer expectation. So you can see that the two are different. So we want to focus on some areas where we can differentiate these two. One, the primary focus, the key concern, the regulatory role, the method used, and the end goal. Firstly, primary focus. What is the primary focus of food safety? So the primary focus of the food safety is to prevent food-borne illness and hazard. That is the primary focus of food safety. So we are focusing on, we are so much interested on preventing the product, that is our food, the product, from what? From food-borne diseases, food-borne illness and hazard. Whereas food quality centered on, that is the primary focus of food quality, is to ensure products to meet the quality expectation. That is food quality. Then the key concern, which is the second one, for food safety is what? Microbiological, chemical and physical safety. That is what? That is the key concern of the food safety. So we are looking at the area of the microbiological, the chemical and the physical safety, where cross contamination can occur to our products. Whereas food quality has to do with, the key concern of food quality is the what? The taste, the texture, the color, the aroma, the odor, labeling accuracy and so on. Now, looking at the method used in food safety, we have HA HAC sorry we have HACCP. What is HACCP? That is hazard analysis and critical control points. So that is the method used in food safety. We have hazard analysis and critical control points, we have sanitation, then we have contamination control. These are the methods used in food safety. What is a hazard analysis and critical control point? This is a systematic preventive approach to food safety from a biological, chemical or physical hazard in a production process. So it's a system designed to prevent food safety from biological or chemical or physical hazard. So in the other way around, food quality, the method used in food quality to detect the quality of your product is, one, we have sensory evaluation, which is very common in our laboratory practices here. Sensory evaluation, we have consistency in our check. As a quality control inspector or quality assurance technician, we have to be consistent in our checking, in our analysis, so that to keep our quality in place, in the quality of our products in place. So the other one is the end goal. The end goal of food safety is what? Is safe for consumption. Your product must be safe for consumption. That is the end goal of food safety. We are looking at what? Safe for consumer to consume. That is the end goal of food safety, whereby the food quality end goal is the consumer satisfaction and brand trust, so that we don't lose our customers when it comes to quality standard of our product. So you can see the difference between the two now. So let us proceed. Foodborne hazard. What do we understand by foodborne hazard? It was, as we discussed earlier, that food safety is crucial for public health, as it is directly affect our well-being and safety. So we are going to highlight the following, which are the hazard to food safety. One, bacteria. Bacteria is one of the hazard for contaminating our products. When we are looking for food, we are looking at food safety, then we have to look at the source or the hazard responsible for cross contamination on our products. So one of it is bacteria. Then we have microorganisms like salmonella. Salmonella and E. coli are are the major bacteria that can contaminate our products. Salmonella in its own is an infection, is an infection which is common in our environment, same as E. coli. So these are common bacteria that affect the intestinal tract, especially the salmonella. They affect the intestinal tract, and these are discharged through stool. So it is discharged through stool, and human being gets infected most frequently through contaminated food or water. So salmonella can be if can be contagious, or can be contaminated, or can be contacted from food or from water that are already what contaminated. Because when it is being discharged, it's an intestinal tract infection, intestinal tract bacteria. So if it is discharged through stool of human, and it is discharged to the surface of the earth, and it is go into the water body such as stream or lake or whatever. So from there, it can get to contaminate our product if the raw materials such as water are not well treated you know before we use it in our daily production. So the same thing as E. coli. Most E. coli outbreak have been linked to contaminated municipal water supply. So that is the reason why we used chlorine, UV light and ozone to kill E. coli. So let's say, for instance, in our water treatment plants, we use chlorine, we use UV light, and our reverse osmosis plants, we use ozone to kill this bacteria so that they won't get in touch with our product, so that to maintain the standard, the quality standard of our product. So because human and animal stool pollute ground, like I said earlier, and surface water such as river, stream, lake, etc. Though our source of water here is borehole, but notwithstanding, we have to take precautions before it affects our product. So going further, we have virus as well. So pathogen such as norovirus and hepatitis A. Norovirus is a group of virus that cause severe vomit and diarrhea. That is norovirus. So, and they are contacted through touching contaminated surface, and then you touch your mouth or you touch your nose. When you get in touch with contaminated surface which has already been affected or that have been contaminated with this norovirus, you touch, and you are the one fond of putting your hand in your mouth. Those that like licking their fingernails, putting their hands in their nose without proper cleaning or without proper washing. This is for you. So it is contacted through touching contaminated surface, and then touch your mouth or your nose like that. So eating or drinking contaminated food or beverages also, you can contact this norovirus and uh, hepatitis A. Hepatitis A on its own is an inflammation of the liver, as you know. Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver, and this cause mid or severe illness, as we know what hepatitis A is for. So going further, we have chemical such as toxins, pesticide that can cause contamination to our food, that are hazardous to our products, and also food additive. So when we talk about food additive, how is food additive can be hazardous to our product? It can. Food additives such as boric acid, for example. Boric acid was a food additive that has been widely used in the time past. Boric acid was widely used in the time past, but it got to a point it got banned because of what? Because of its toxicity. So there are some food additives that are hazardous to our product, and if they are ingested or taken in, they can cause infection to our body system. So we have allergens. Allergens. So allergens is another hazard to our food, to our products. So allergens are substances that can cause an allergic reaction, as we all know. So in some people, the immune system recognize allergens as foreign or dangerous substance. Let's take for instance, as a result of this, it reacts by making a type, what do we call this? A type of antibody. This antibody here, there's an antibody called immunoglobulin. Yes. So this the immune system, recognize these allergens as a foreign substance or a dangerous substance to the body system. So it quickly reacts and make this antibody called immunoglobulin. It is called immunoglobulin E, like that. So to defend against the allergen. So, and the last one here is the parasite. So parasites such as Giardia or crypto cryptosporidium. Cryptosporidium is a disease that cause watery diarrhea. So all these are linked with gastrointestinal disease, either diarrhea causing vomiting, causing stooling, all this kind of infections. They are linked to each other. So cryptosporidium is a disease that cause watery diarrhea. So it is also caused by microscopic germ called cryptosporidium as well. So it can live in water, it can be found in food, it can be found in soil or in a contaminated surface that has been affected with a poo. So let's continue. So we have food contaminants. What are food contaminants? Food contaminants are substances that should not be found in food, which render them unfit for human consumption. So if you are going by the food contamination, we know they are categorized into three. We have chemical, we have biological, and we have physical. So looking at the chemical, now here we have substance used to clean our kitchen surface. No, we are not talking about kitchen here. We are talking about you know industrial use of chemical now in cleaning our materials or equipment used in production. So let's take for instance, during our CIP, which is cleaning in place, during our CIP, we make use of some chemicals. During COP and CIP, we make use of some chemicals. We make use of P3Z, we make use of chlorine, we make use of caustic. So these are chemicals that are used to clean our materials and equipment for production. And if we have carry over on this equipment that are not properly cleaned, it will definitely contaminate our products. After our CIP, we normally do caustic carryover test, we do chlorine carryover test, we collect water sample after CIP, then we check maybe we have caustic carryover or we have chlorine carryover before we can start production. This is the standard of carrying out these tasks. So chemical is one of the contamination category. Then we go to number two, biological contaminants. So we have tasteless microorganism, toxin and parasitic worm that remain dangerous even when cooked, like we've discussed earlier. So there are some, even when they are cooked. That is why we make use of hot water during our CIP, because there are some microorganisms that are thermophilic in nature. When we say microorganisms are thermophilic in nature, they can withstand high heat. They can withstand a very high or a very high degree of heat. In a very hot environment, they can still live. So they require a constant heat before it can be killed. That is why we do steps in our CIP. When we are doing 5 step, we introduce hot water in two different categories, or maybe 7 step, we introduce hot water in different categories, so that to make sure that all those thermophilic organism, microorganism, are being wiped away. So the other is the physical contaminants. Foreign matter such as hair, yes, hair, dead insects, jewelries. And this is the reason why we are so concerned about good manufacturing practices. Then the making use of our right PPE on the production floor, that is making use of hair net, making use of beard cover. So in this area, we have to be critical enough, because we cannot just focus on the hair alone, and people are carrying beards, bushy beards, and they are not covering it. So there is no point in which we are covering the hair while we have the beards left uncovered. So what we are protecting there is the product, so that they won't get contaminated with the hair. So if you protect only the hair on the head, and leave the one on the beards, so there's no point in protecting anything. So wearing of jewelries. The reason why we hammer on wearing of jewelries: during production, accident can happen, and you lose your jewelries and they fell into product, and at the end of the day it goes to the trade, and the adverse effect of that. So those are the category of food contaminants we have: chemical, biological, and physical. Going further, we have factor affecting food safety. So the following are some of the factors affecting food safety. One, cross-contamination, that is the transfer of harmful microorganisms from one surface to another. The other one is temperature control, that is proper heating. We've discussed all this. Proper heating, refrigeration, and freezing are essential. Most of our concentrates, the mode of storing them, some require storing in a very cool environment, in a very cool environment, let me put it that way. So temperature control is part of factor that affect food safety. If they are not properly stored, they get spoiled easily. So proper heating as well. So the next one is personal hygiene. Frequent hand wash. This is very important. We have been preaching this every time. Wash your hand before entering production hall. Wash your hand. It is very important. You wash hand, you dry it, you even sanitize. After wash, you dry. It is very important. It is a big concern when workers, employers are not adhering to all these personal hygiene practices. So frequent hand wash and wearing clean clothing or PPE can prevent contamination. In a situation whereby you go to the toilet or you go to the restroom to make use of the restroom without washing your hand, and you are bringing them into the production hall to handle products during production, that is a big risk to our products. At the same time, you are putting on production clothing in a normal setting. When you are going to use restroom, you are not supposed to go into the restroom with your production clothes or production attires. You are not to go to the restroom with your production attires. In a proper and a normal settings, they are to be removed before going. And while coming out, you remove the one you wear into the restroom. Then bath, take a shower, clean yourself, wash your hands, sanitize yourself before putting on the production clothes and before coming back into the production hall. So personal hygiene is a key to is a key factor affecting food safety. The clothes we are using, most of the clothing are tattered, rough, dirty, to the point that even if you pass by, it will cause some to be closing their mouth, closing their nose, covering their nose, because they are smelling, and they are the odor coming out. Definitely there will be microorganism growing on the clothes. Another one is waste management. Poor waste management and bad housekeeping can contribute or aid the spread of microorganism and hence cause food contamination. Let's proceed because of our time. Now we are going to benefits of food safety and its culture. Firstly, we are discuss if you look at the picture, or if you look at the layout, we have one on the right hand side and we have the other one on the left hand side. So the one on our left hand side is the top benefit of food safety, and the one on our right hand side is the benefit or importance of food safety culture. Food safety on its own, then its culture, which is the practice. There are difference between food safety on its own and its culture. We know food safety, then are we practicing food safety? So that is the benefit of food safety, then benefit of the food safety culture. So let's look at the food safety, benefit of food safety. One, it protect public health, you know, to curb spread of microorganism. Then number two, it enhance consumer confidence. It enhance when your food is safe, your consumer will have rest of mind. They will have confidence in your product. Number three, it reduce food waste. It reduce what? Food waste. When you have quality of food, when you have your food being safe, then it won't lure people to just trash it or to just waste it, because it will be so palatable and so fascinating to consume. Four, complies with the legal requirement. When your the benefit of food safety, it makes the producer, the manufacturer, to what? To comply with the legal requirement. Fifth one, it prevents economic losses. Then sixth one, it promotes global trade. Yes, that's the exchange of goods and globally. Then seven, it enhance product quality. We've discussed that earlier. Then eight, support sustainability. Then nine, it build stronger supply chain. That is supply chain, maybe from the raw materials to the production point, then from production point to the distributing point. Then 10, it improve employee safety and morale. When people are talking good about your product outside, when they have rest of mind about your product, people will be talking more good about your product, and you, the employee working with the manufacturer, you have that safety, we have assurance of safety in your work, and at the same time you have the morale to do more. So in the other way around, we have the benefits of food safety culture. That is, why is food safety culture important? One, to maintain customer loyalty. That's one. Two, it encourage innovation. Three, it attract talent. Yes, it attract talent. And four, it beat competitors. It beat competitors. When you have people producing the same product, in the trade, that's on its own, that's competitor. So if your product is safe and of good quality, definitely it will beat those outside there. Then it meets regulatory requirements. This is the standard set by PI. This is standard of PMC, is to have your CO2 within 4.0 to 4.4, and you bottle between 4.0 to 4.4. So it meets regulatory requirements. Or let me say NAFDAC or SON. The requirement or the specification they set for such product, and your product falls between or within the spec, then that's one of the what the importance of food safety culture. Let's proceed. And this is the last part of it, that is the key aspect of food safety in manufacturing, because this is the area we are so much concerned on. The key aspects of food safety in manufacturing. Now it is divided into four, and the first one is facility cleanliness. The second one is food handling. The third one is equipment maintenance, and the fourth one is quality control. So let's take the first one, the facility cleanliness. Don't forget, this is the food safety in manufacturing, and we are dealing with manufacturing company here. Now, first one, facility cleanliness. That is maintaining a hygienic environment through sanitation station, the regular cleaning schedule, and stringent procedure to prevent cross contamination, facility cleaning. Then the second one, food handling. All this we've explained, but it's just like recap. So food handling, to follow correct procedure for handling food, then including maintaining proper temperature for raw food and avoiding direct contact with cooked meal to prevent contamination. Then the third one is equipment maintenance. Regularly clean and disinfect machinery and equipment to prevent the accumulation of pollutants or germs or contaminants. Let's put it that way. Ensuring a safe manufacturing environment. Then the last one, which is the most important one, quality control. To implement inspection and testing procedure for raw materials, that is from the point of collecting the raw materials, then in process items, that is during the processing of the products and the production of it, then and finished goods, that is the finished product after the bottling of it, then to the point of trade, to the point of distribution. So to uphold safety standard and ensure product quality. Now, this is the last part of it that summarize the whole topic. That is to uphold what? The safety standard and ensure what? Product quality. So these four aspects, none of these four aspects can be underestimated to one another. But the most important part of it is the quality control aspect. And the quality of control aspect has to supervise the rest. The quality control aspect take charge of the rest. Talking of the facility cleanliness, talking of the food handling, and talking of the equipment maintenance. So quality control oversee all. So moving to the conclusion of the whole thing, food safety and food quality are two of the most important aspects of any food manufacturing company or food handling environment. So it is important to know the difference and have a proper food safety and food quality management system in place. This will keep your consumers or your customers safe, healthy, and happy. It will also keep your company within regulation and out of trouble. So this comes to the end of the training. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the question question to the question section, the questioning session. Thank you very much.